Was the Apollo 11 moon landing faked? For over 50 years, people have whispered about it. Secret movie sets, Hollywood directors, flags waving in a vacuum. It's a story that just won't die. But the truth is, we did go. Neil Armstrong really took that giant leap for mankind. The landing was real. The rocks brought back were real. The entire mission was real. However, there's one major part of this incredible story that was, for the most part, just a performance. It's the part that happened right after they got back. Picture this. Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. They're heroes, the first humans to walk on another world. But instead of a parade, they're whisked away and immediately sealed inside a metal box. This was the mobile quarantine facility. For 3 weeks, the astronauts were trapped. They waved to their families through a glass window. They even spoke to the President of the United States from behind a protective screen. The official story from NASA: this was a critical safety measure. They were protecting all of us, everyone on Earth, from potential lunar germs. Moon plagues, they called them. It sounded serious and it looked serious. The images were broadcast everywhere. 3 brave men, isolated to save humanity. It was dramatic. It was tense. It was also mostly for show. Behind the scenes, the story was very different. Even before Apollo 11 returned, NASA scientists had already been studying samples from earlier unmanned moon missions. They had even tested moon rocks brought back by Apollo 11 itself, well before the astronauts were out of quarantine. And what did they find? Absolutely nothing. No life, no viruses, no bacteria, not even the tiniest, most basic building blocks of life. The moon was sterile. NASA's own top scientists knew the risk of a lunar contagion was incredibly low, practically zero. The quarantine facility itself wasn't even as secure as it looked. Technicians and doctors interacted with the astronauts with surprising frequency. The air filtration systems were fairly basic, not the impenetrable biological fortress the public imagined. One doctor even admitted that the protocols were relaxed and that if a real dangerous pathogen had been present, it probably would have escaped. So if there was no real danger, why the elaborate 21-day quarantine? Why put the heroes of the decade in a glorified trailer and make a huge public spectacle out of it? The answer has less to do with science and more to do with psychology. NASA was dealing with something completely new. They weren't just managing a space mission. They were managing public perception on a global scale. Think about it. For the first time, we had brought something back from another world. The public was excited, but they were also anxious. Sci-fi movies had filled our heads with stories of alien plagues. NASA needed to project an image of absolute control and caution. They needed to show the world they were taking every single possibility, no matter how remote, seriously. The quarantine wasn't really about protecting Earth from moon germs. It was about protecting the public from their own fear. It was a piece of carefully crafted political and public relations theater. By putting the astronauts in a glass box, NASA was reassuring everyone. See? We've got this covered. Everything is under control. There is nothing to panic about. So no, the moon landing wasn't a hoax. It was one of the greatest achievements in human history. But the quarantine that followed, that was a masterclass in managing public opinion. It's a fascinating reminder that sometimes the biggest stories in history aren't just about what happened, but about how they were presented. It wasn't a lie, but it was a performance. And it shows that sometimes the most important part of a story is making sure everyone feels safe, even if the danger was never really there to begin with. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look into the hidden side of history, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories you thought you knew. See you next time.